Our first question comes from Curtis Kitchen of 610 Sports Radio.
Morning, Dana.
Hi.
Hey, question for you now. I mean, you had a week to look at K-State on paper, and then you got to see them obviously in real life. I mean, what was it now, looking back at that team now that you've seen them on the field? I mean, what stood out most about that team?
Well, there's a whole bunch of things that stand out about them. They're one of the best teams, maybe the best team in the country. Time will tell, but they're just a real mature team. You knew they were going to be physical coming in. You knew they were going to be disciplined. You knew they were going to play smart, not beat themselves, but just a very mature football team. They're very businesslike. They were, they executed well, but they were physically tough. They were mentally tough. They handled themselves well, and it is really just a really all-around good football team with no weaknesses.
Yeah, defensively, they have a misnomer a little bit. I think that they don't have a lot of athletes on that side of the ball. I mean, did they answer that question for you?
Oh, they got plenty of athletes on that side of the ball. I can assure you that. Arthur Brown's is as good of an athlete as I've seen in quite some time. Their front seven, they're really athletic. They got some big guys in the middle that do a good job of stopping the run, but they got a bunch of good athletic guys, outside backers, DN type guys that can rush the passer pretty good.
All right, thank you.
No.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Ed Owens of the Dominion Post.
Morning, Coach. Just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the attitude coming out of that game, and just the reaction of the guys, how everything went over the last couple of days.
Nobody's happy about it. Nobody's happy about it from a program standpoint, coaches, players, all the rest. My message to the team after the game was we need to grow up. We need to become a mature football team. Got beat by a mature football team. Need to become a mature football team. Need to be mentally tough. Need to be physically tough. Need to improve ourselves each and every day. It's a deal where you're not going to just wake up and fix things without hard work. So you got to get up here and we got to get back to work. We got to get our fundamentals better. We got to get our techniques better, and we got to get our confidence back. And that's all sides of the ball.
One thing you've mentioned, and I don't know if you're trying to compare yourselves or contrast yourselves with K-State, but you mentioned mental toughness a few times on Saturday and again this morning already. Is that something you feel like you guys are lacking right now?
Yeah, it happens. It happens with young kids. I mean, young kids don't know how to be mentally tough. It takes those situations to. It takes being in those situations to truly understand it. So, it's hard to compare ourselves with Kansas State because they're a mature team and we're not right now. So, from a program standpoint, that's kind of the model from a teamwork standpoint, and we'll strive hard to get ourselves in that position.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Skylar Dixon of the Associated Press.
Coach, how you doing?
Good.
You would be able to talk pretty well about sort of going from the Big East days to these days. The league seems really deep. We've had several teams with rapidly changing fortunes. Your team sort of fits that profile. Is this league monster deep? Is it really difficult? And are you all seeing that now?
You talking about the Big 12?
Yes.
Well, yeah, we knew it was going to be deep. We knew probably the biggest thing was going to be a depth standpoint. Our depth is coming from a whole bunch of young kids, a whole bunch of freshmen. And some of these other teams, all the other teams that exist, depth is a question on every team, every program. But when you can replace guys with older, mature guys from a backup standpoint, then you have a chance to win games. So it's deep. I'm pretty familiar with the Big 12 and knew what we were getting ourselves into. I think it's going to take a whole season for everybody around here to kind of understand it.
Does it seem much different than any other year, would you say, or does it kind of fit that profile?
I think it's been the same way for quite some time. There's probably a little bit more parity now than there used to be. You can say that, usually there is an undefeated OU team or an undefeated Texas team. Well, now it looks like K-State's the undefeated team that's playing at an extremely high level. So Extremely deep conference, good on all three sides of the ball, good facilities, good programs. It is a challenging conference that we fit in. We got to make sure that we're doing things to improve on all sides of the ball each and every week.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is from the line of Scott Grayson with WVIllustrated.com.
Good morning, Coach. Just wanted to ask you about this. I saw Sean Alston tweeted that he's definitely playing against TCU. Can you confirm that? And obviously, if he is back, what would he do to help your running game?
I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not. It's going to take some practice time in order for him to earn some playing time back and show us that he's able to do that. That's no different than anybody else on the team. So he makes us better. Does a good job. Brings maturity. Brings toughness. Brings a physical style of play that we're lacking a little bit in the run game. He would be good to get back out there, but we got to make sure that he's able to practice a little bit prior to that.
Obviously, as an older guy, when you were talking about having older guys being mentally tough, he would certainly help in that area, I assume.
He would. We need more than him to get that truly accomplished from a team standpoint. But he's a guy that has a presence in the locker room. And Bowie and Garrison have done an adequate job of replacing him, but he brings a different style that would be helpful.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Ed Owens of the Dominion Post.
Hey, Coach, just wondering if you could give a quick rundown of the rest of this week, what you guys are focusing on in practice, and then as far as recruiting goes and getting out on the road.
Yeah, I got some guys out today, locally, seeing how we can't get on an airplane because we got to be back for practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We will focus hard on fundamentals, try to heal some guys up, and then put the ball down and play it a little bit, especially with a bunch of the young guys. We'll have 7 guys out on Friday and Saturday all across the country trying to find some guys that can come in here and help us right away. So, and then we'll get back to work Sunday on a normal routine, getting ready for TCU.
Having this bye week, does that give you guys a chance to, like you said, kind of put the ball down and go a little bit harder, good on good?
We'll do a little bit of that at this point. We did that earlier in the season, but later in the season it's harder to do that good on good. We'll do it a little bit to keep our timing, but a lot of the things that we need to do, especially with as many young guys as we got playing, is get those guys to focus on their technique a little bit. There's some things that we can improve on technique-wise each and every day that gives us an opportunity to do that. And then we'll put the ball down and we'll play it a lot with the younger kids because player development from a young guy standpoint is going to be critical for moving forward.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Mike Baldwin of the Oklahoman.
Dana, with all the high expectation, the way the start you guys got off to, how surprised are you that both games got a little out of hand the last 2 weeks, and how do you convince the players that that's behind you?
It's there's some the mental aspect of reaching your team is something that's always a challenge, but we got to get their confidence back again. The only way you can do that is by bringing them in, talking to them, getting out there in practice and working on some specific things, and then preparing as well as you can to get out there and be successful. So it's you got to take them one at a time. I mean, we're playing a good league. I think everybody understands that. We got off to kind of a hot start, but we had some issues that a pretty good Texas Tech team and a real good Kansas State team exposed a little bit. So those guys are 2 quality football programs that ended up beating us, and we got to get back to work. There's no secret or magical words that can get those guys back on track. So we'll get out there and we'll work hard at it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Frank Jardina of Metro News Radio Net.
Dana, I jumped on a little late. Not sure if this has been asked, but are you glad to have an off week, or would you rather play this week?
It doesn't really matter what I think. I mean, we'll approach it. If we had a game, would be game plan and hard, ready to get back to work. We don't have a game, so we're going to focus on recruiting. We're going to focus on getting a bunch of. We'll get out there and practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and try to get better from a fundamental standpoint, from a technique standpoint. Try to get some guys healthy. We got 4 or 5 guys that haven't been able to play. So try to get those guys healthy, and then put the ball down and play with a bunch of our younger kids to try to get those guys a little bit better from a program standpoint.